Masthaven has today announced the launch of its online broker portal for its short-term division. The broker portal will give brokers access to quick quotes, instant dips, and the ability to apply online, as well as visibility of case progress. The portal has been shaped by broker feedback following a successful test phase with Masthaven's short-term lending brokers. I spoke to John Hall and Alan Margolis to find out a bit more. Congratulations on the launch of your new broker portal for short-term loans. What led you to develop the broker portal and how long did it take you to do that?
Thanks, Beth. Yeah, it's not the catchiest name in the world, but it does what it says on the tin. So we started looking at the portal alongside some work we were doing on refreshing our brand. Obviously, we launched the bank back in November 2016, and this is the first time we kind of really sought to bring the new brand to life, which was about connecting our people with our customers. Mm-hmm. So we looked at the portal alongside the brand refresh and the launch of our intermediary website back in 2018, end of 2018. And so we went live with the new intermediary website in the middle of last year, 2019. Started a pilot with our premier partners on the portal at the back end of the year. Obviously, it's important to get these things right, and now we're proud to kind of make it much more accessible to other people.
Now it's open to everyone.
And now it's open to the market.
Excellent. Yeah. Alan, what one key benefit can intermediaries expect from the broker portal?
Well, the obvious one is speed. We're able to offer an instant dip for certain loans that meet the criteria, and the broker, John said, it does what it says on the tin. An instant dip is exactly that. You get the decision in principle straight away, which you're able to show to your client immediately.
We were really keen to allow brokers to be in control and choose the option they wanted. So if they wanted to get an automated decision back from us, that's great. If they want to refer to us to get a credit-backed decision, they can also do that. Mm-hmm. And we were really keen that they were able to spend more time with their clients rather than having to spend a lot of time on kind of inputting to systems. So we wanted to speed things up, give it surety of decision and certainty, and just allow them to spend more time kind of with their clients, and also just help support growing the bridging market overall, which is what we're all in the business of doing. I mean, what we did before we launched was we in kind of rooms a little bit like this, we videoed brokers using the test system. And in doing so, we kind of worked out that some preferred to really didn't believe that there was a decision maker behind the process, and so would prefer to go through that kind of credit back route. Others were absolutely brilliant in terms of saying, right, I just want to get a decision back, I need to sit down with my client, and worked in that way. And others, we learnt a lot in that process in terms of watching brokers interact with it. A lot of what they did, and we're really grateful for the brokers that did it. We completely changed some of the journey to make it much more kind of easy to use, and actually factored in it needed to work in a very kind of specialist market around bridging and development finance, which is quite tailored. Mm-hmm. And so how you get that tailored experience so that a broker can choose exactly the right product for their client, sure. We spent a lot of time on.
Short-term lending is well known for being complex and far from straightforward. How did you apply technology in order to tackle this?
The variables in short-term lending were perhaps the greatest challenge to devise a portal. And what happens is you evolve in effect a logic tree, where various inputs lead in various directions, so you get the right outcome, whether you can get an automated dip or whether it gets referred to us. But there's no question about it. That involved a great deal of testing because we simply had so many variables to take into account.
Yeah, we had an underwriting manager working, so one of our short-term lending underwriting managers, Emma, was working on it for a number of months, doing exactly what Alan said in terms of, let's look at the route in which it goes through, because we're not going to be able to cover every eventuality, we don't want to. So we had that said, let's make sure we cover enough of the options that brokers would want in that space, but also just allow that flexibility. And that's where, again, it was really helpful to have somebody like Richard Deacon's perspective from a broker point of view that just went, actually, that bit's too complicated, there's no way. Yep. So you kind of, you have the true kind of operational focus and underwriting focus, but mapped to a way in which our brokers want to engage with technology, because we know that we don't want to turn anybody off. What we've had has worked for 15 years as a bridging lender, and we didn't want to kind of throw away the baby with the bathwater in doing this. So hopefully we've got proof of the pudding, but hopefully we've got the best of both worlds.
What other feedback did you get through the piloting phase? And did you make any key changes?
Yeah, we absolutely did. That concept of how you get a credit backed versus an automatic was very clear. So one of our brokers would literally sit there and go, "There's no way somebody's backed that," and so they very clearly wanted to have a commitment from an individual. Obviously, in terms of the automated route itself, that was very important. We increased the amount of options that brokers were able to put through. So we made sure it catered for not just a very narrow range of bridging products, but whether it covered regulated, non-regulated, first and second charge, whether there was some experience of adverse credit within there that needs to be factored in, the ability to upload documents on the way through, and tell a story. And I think that was possibly one of the most important things, was that ability to tell a story behind why a bridging loan was wanted, because people don't go looking for a bridging loan. They've got something that they're looking to do, and understanding what that thing is, what their circumstances are, and then making sure the bridging loan fits for that is a key part. So all of that, I mean, we were watching some of the, one broker in particular was starting to kind of almost throw something at the wall, which is a great experience. But then that same person sat back with his mobile phone and was flicking through he's obviously comfortable with technology. It was just our technology just wasn't quite gelling. Then we put it back in front of that person and a number of others, and it's been used now for a good couple of months. And all of them are saying that this is something that's useful for us. This is something that's not just going to get in the way of us doing business. This is something that will actually allow us to do more business and provide that kind of specialism that we think we need to provide to our clients. So it's kind of, I don't want to talk it up too much because you're going to set yourself to fail. But we're quite proud of what it is and excited. It's a good commitment from the bank. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's good.
And we've obviously seen in the bridging market that completions just across the board have taken a lot longer. It's gone up. I think most recently it's around the 50-day mark to complete a bridging loan, which is far from what it was historically used for. The whole thing is about speed. How will the automated DIPs help the end-to-end loan process?
Sure. So for some people are going to get exactly that, an instant DIP to allow them to begin their process, show to the customer and so on. If you take an ideal example, so the customers receive the DIP, they're happy to proceed. What you can actually use, I think as John said, is you've got this information already in the system. You're then able to actually then proceed to an application. And the beauty is we've now got most of the information on the system already. So it eliminates the need to rekey. We've got information. If it had come to the BDMs originally and gone through the more traditional approach, but through the portal, we've got a load of additional notes on the system. We've captured things at the very beginning so people are not having to repeat the process. And it's that ability to cut out repetition, to reduce the room for making errors and so on, just helps provide a smoother experience.
I mean, bridging loans do take longer on occasion because something happens in the journey. So a properly made down val, there's some legal aspect. Just the purchase itself takes longer to achieve. Chains take longer to kind of work their way through. And those things are going to continue. As Alan said, what we're trying to do at the front end is give a certainty and surety on as quick as possible when the client is there with the broker to work there. Then after that, you've just got to be adaptable. Things happen. You have to change with them. As much as possible, you try and carry what you've said all the way through, unless it really is a fundamental change. And that's kind of a bit of old school kind of partnering.
It's using
that's not going to change.
It's using the technology to aid the process. We're not going to change some of the traditional elements of involving people asking questions, involving solicitors and so on. Those are going to stay the same, but what you've got behind it is an ability to be more efficient. John's exactly right. You're not going to change the whole nature of everything, but you are using technology as an enabler. It's not a replacement for people and some decision making and questions, and things so often come out of these loans and come up, and that often causes delay. Not necessarily the process itself, but just life's variables and people. So this is just helping that journey to be that much smoother, that much slicker, and actually sometimes it can produce extraordinary results when everything lines up. The portal, the use of that, the customers, the borrower solicitors, the valuation, then it's amazing how, when it really works, what speed you can actually achieve with the assistance of the portal.
Sure. That leads on to my next question as well when you're talking about the human element. Complex bridging obviously demands a personal touch. How does the new broker portal offer speed and also a human element?
So I can answer that very simply. So if there is a referral, so if it cannot generate an automated DIP, or actually the introducer wants to raise a question up with the BDM, just take the automated DIP. They seek an automated DIP, but for whatever reason it gets referred. It actually goes straight to their own personal BDM. The BDM sees the inquiry. They then liaise with the introducer and or the BDEs, the business development executives back in the office. That traditional element of liaising with the broker, it then gets submitted. It goes through to credit, and credit are then able to look at the decision in principle request. They are able to look at the notes that have been made through the interaction with the introducer, and then they get the decision straight, the approval straight from credit. So as we're complementing the traditional process, on occasion you're not going to replace it. It's just this complementing and this improving the efficiency that I mentioned before. So we get the best of both worlds. In some occasions it won't be touched by people and go straight through to a DIP. In other occasions the complexity will require that interaction that we have currently in almost all DIPs, and then we just use the portal to smooth it through.
Because these more straightforward cases can go through quite quickly and you don't need too much of a human element to it, does that mean that the more complex cases will be quicker?
Yes, absolutely, because we're capturing this information in one place. So we're able to see the information that the broker has submitted. We see the notes and the additional information that the BDMs have provided. That is just a win for everyone.
You can now quote Alan Margolis on that says it will be quicker. I think the important thing is that what we're also doing is taking some people who were previously on doing more administrative work and actually putting them into their underwriting teams and doing what we've always done pretty well, which is develop our own underwriters. We've now got more people that can then form part of that underwriting team of people, and so in theory you should be then able to have people doing cases much more quickly.
Okay. And then looking ahead, what plans do you have for deploying technology across the rest of Masthaven?
Yeah, so we've got a second charge mortgage API, and we're looking to roll that out into our first charge world as well, so to allow us to link much more closely with the sourcing systems. Okay. This week I was meeting with somebody that allows you to connect through open banking in terms of the underwriting process, the verification of bank account data, which speeds up that underwrite process as well, and allows the broker to know exactly what's happening in terms of the underwrite, and also looking at different ways that we can take what is a kind of a mortgage or a savings product and allow our customers to personalise it to their particular client's needs or their own needs. Yep. So just trying to use technology alongside that ability to customise and personalise, which we think is fundamentally it's where the bank started and what we still think is the most important thing for what customers, whether they're brokers or borrowers or savers, actually want. They want to take control and actually have something which is a bit more in line with what they want, not what a bank wants to sell them. And
just lastly, there are broker portals out there from other lenders. Why should a broker use yours, and why does yours stand out?
I think the proof will be in the eating, if that's the expression.
We have asked the question of our brokers, and their feedback is very, very positive of ours versus others. But it's great that there are others. It's good to have the different experience. Hopefully, people will learn from ours as we have learned from others as well. And each time you get one, it's going to be a bit better than the last one. So I think it's all complementary as long as we get ours out there for a while first.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Beth.
Yeah.